How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to show you a bit of gameplay and a review of this Derry Longhorn. I just wanted to say quickly, because I forgot to say it in yesterday's video, but when I put this down that river path again to tow it out, I degraded everything. I put it back to completely stock. I don't even know if the one you get is slightly upgraded, but I put it back to highway tyres, like stock air filter, stock engine. So yeah, we'll go through it though. These are obviously the engines when I click on them, and I've got obviously the stock one in, but the one you want is that Westline thing. That's a beast. But as you can see, the second engine is worth 13 odd grand, so it's probably worth getting if you're able to. It's definitely got the most power, that one. As for the gearboxes, you've got high range and off-road, and then obviously it comes with balance. I prefer like high range and off-road. Some of the big stuff has got special and advanced special, and I'm not as keen. It's got no raised suspension. As for tyres, there's luckily not that many to choose from, so I don't have to sit there all day scrolling. But again, I had the stock ones back on. They're all the same sizes, but I'm just putting chained ones back on now. As for the winches, I nearly skipped it. I was like, oh, sod it, I can just sell it back afterwards. So I'm going to put I think the strongest winch, the twin motor heavy. That's the spare tyres. They're pretty damn chunky. As for frame add-ons, you've got saddle high and saddle low, and then these are your air filters. Again, I put the stock one back on for that test yesterday. So just have a quick look through the visuals. The exhaust, to be honest, I just like the stock one. One, it's like paints at the same colour as the camo, and this doesn't really chuck a load of smoke out. It's not like a coal rolling American thing like they do. It's so it's not too bad. You could put the side one on. As for these beacons and whatnot, that's like a cabin protector. I don't like it personally. I've never bothered putting one on. Well, it actually looks like when I tried to put that cabin protector on, it removed my spare tyres as well. Just putting my horns back on. See, I even made them stock horns. You can remove these rear mud flaps, and I actually like it like that. So I only just realised it then. That's why I took them off. The fog lights things, you basically got two options. And then as for the bumper, this one is colour coded, but that one is the one I end up choosing. You don't want that because it lowers, I'll show you, it lowers like basically where the bumper is, so it's going to make you more likely to catch your nose on stuff. So you can see how high, they're both the same basically. That one's now got a bit of a lower chin, that one's also lower, that one's fine, and that one's fine. So really you want to choose the top two or the one above stock. Those two are just no. It's not bad for catching its nose. It did once or twice, but a lot of others would where I caught it. But yeah, that's just making the problem worse. Like I said, I was going to stick with my colour-coded one, but then in the end, it looks like it's kind of colour-coded, but still also a bit like dirty and brown. As for rims, there's only two options. They are a bit different, but they look like more sort of polished new ones. And then the colours, I won't go through all of them, but we all know the normal colours. But as for the camos, that's the one I think you find it with, which I quite like. That one, I don't dislike it, but it's not really my favourite. That I don't like a giant ladybird. That I quite like, as sort of desert one. The only reason I went for this is it's sort of like the camo on the French tanks. I don't know if anyone's played World of Tanks Blitz or whatever, but it reminded me of the French tank camo, so that's why I just went with it, even though it's an American truck. So yeah, we'll leave the garage and we'll check her out. I was just making it daytime. So yeah, that's what she looks like. It's a pretty big truck, to be fair. Probably not quite as big as the P16. Got to check that horn. Horn's good. That gets a pass. So this is the interior view. You should have a little look around. I got a bit mad there. Yeah, there's the dash. I think I'll just start the engine up quickly. Just wanted to see, as I go to rev, it centres my like head out the windscreen. Yeah, there's a look around there. Got some levers over there. The view out the back would be good if the spare tyres aren't on it. I'll go and remove them in a sec and I'll show you. Again, I just might want to see his hand animation do it. So yeah, like that's pretty much a look from the inside. But like I say, I just wanted to quickly take them tyres off and show you. The view outside that way is pretty decent, and then out there, when you ram your head out the window, that's about the best view I've seen on any of them. There's no big like exhaust stacks. Some of those exhausts, if you change from stock, could be twin exhausts. I didn't remember, but yeah, the stock one, the view's good. And I'll show you the problem with this truck, the big glaring problem. I'll just quickly first show you through these trailers, but it can basically take every trailer as long as you've got obviously saddle high, saddle low on, and the towable ones. The big problem with it, you see that wheel, like this, well, the set of wheels that are just a single pair. It's just like a dolly axle or whatever you call it, that's used like the military obviously spread the weight out. They're towing like 80-ton tanks, but it has no power, it has no drive to it. You can sort of sometimes see through the gap in the chassis, and the prop shaft just, it's got a thing to go around it. And I'll go and show you the problem with it. Say if you're coming up this hill, the first axle that gets to make contact is that axle, and because it's got no power, look at my rear four wheels, they're just spinning, and luckily I have actually, on this particular one, got just enough grip. But that is the problem, when you crawl in over any hill, those wheels just get in the way and ruin it. Even now, look, they're sort of pushing my rear wheels like up in the air, really. Again, I'm just able to get enough grip, but then I'm now going to try and drive over a bit to the right, and you'll see the problem highlighted a lot better. See, look, as soon as they hit all four wheels now, the rear ones, which they're double tyres, so 8 of your 10 grippable wheels, drivable wheels, 8 of them are off the air, off the floor, sorry, or ground, for you American guys, someone mentioned it. Yeah, and I've only got the front wheels. So that is basically the first biggest problem that you're always going to have with this truck. That's why I've personally not used it a lot. And as this video goes, to be honest, it's more and more of a shame because it's actually a really good truck. So just a quick, I knew what had happened, but driving out here would be no problem for this truck. But I got to this little peak of the hill, and there you go. The rear tyres, they're off the ground, and that's it. I'd have to go round to the right really to get around it. Like, if you do drive this thing, just don't drive it anywhere where there's like peaks and hills. So as we're coming out of the garage here, you look in the gearbox, when I stick it in high, this truck just suddenly went up about 10 times in my estimation. Did a fat drift. Obviously none of you guys will know this because I didn't make a video, but SnowRunner, there's a map on there called Downhill, and I spent days drifting all the trucks down. I managed to successfully drift loads of massive trucks with trailers and all sorts down that hill. I mean, I'm just going to say I'm probably one of the best SnowRunner drifters in the world. Like, I'm probably the only one, that's the thing. But yeah, it's this truck, when you bang it in high, has definitely got enough power to start making it drift, so I'm going to be playing around with that. I'm going to put less grippy tyres on and all sorts. Just as I say, I'm the best drifter, then I smack a wall. But yeah, it drifts, so it's a good start, I like it. It's actually powerful and in high gear, it gets motoring. Like, that's the biggest shame really with the wheels. Even there you can see my rear wheels are spinning quicker than I'm moving because they're still touching the floor, or ground, but those tyres are, those sort of dolly axle, whatever you call it, is just lifting them up, so they've not got the full benefit of their own weight pushing down, gripping it along. As for this first mud pit, it actually goes very well through, even deep mud. One of the best trucks I've actually tried. Obviously, again though, if you get to some peak or whatever, then those tyres are going to start messing you up, but it ploughed through here, no problem. And it does drop out of high, like it doesn't like it as much as the ANK. That, unless you smack something and stop dead, that thing pretty much never stalls when you're in high. But yeah, like I say, as you're going to see, this truck is just, the more I was making this review tonight, because I've not drove this a lot because of that wheel, yeah, I was starting to find out like a lot of things I didn't really know about it, to be honest. And even now, look how slow I'm crawling up here, and the thing's way powerful enough to do it, but look at those rear wheels. It's because I'm going on this angle. Like, if you drove in a dip, then those middle wheels are like, they get lifted off the floor, and all your like wheels that have got power going to them, and that'll actually grip. So yeah, but it's just hills and that, and it's in this, I mean, it's SnowRunner, it's not like, you know, there's hills everywhere, so that's why I've not used it a lot. Obviously, if you're doing road towing though, I bet it tows a fat trailer like really well on the roads. That's one thing, by the way, I must mention. The steering on it is definitely very slow. You have to practically pre-order it. But again, look here, as soon as I put it in high, like, that's a pretty nice, respectable speed. I'd be happy bombing around at that speed in a lot of trucks. And obviously this is like shallow mud, dirt road, and it has absolutely no problem. So I'm turning left like way back there. I'm already turning right like as I was at the top of the hill. I've seen chat to the squirrel that lived in that tree, because it fucking don't anymore. There's evolution in action. It was a squirrel and it just got Derry Longhorned into a flying squirrel. Exactly as Darwin predicted. I thought I could knock that tree over. Nope. Not the big dead ones. But it gives me a good chance. Again, this is where I said the GMC last time. It was like a fuel tanker trailer you have to rescue from here, but a lot of stuff doesn't like driving through here. And this thing's doing pretty damn well considering it's pushing that dolly axle. Basically, what they need to do with that axle, I get that it being there is realistic because it is on the actual truck, but apparently in real life a lot of people just remove it, probably not for driving over the peaks of hills, probably just because they don't need it to spread the weight. Like I say, the army are towing like tanks. But yeah, you need an option in this game to remove it, and I have no doubt if you're watching this on PC, there's bound to be someone who's modded it with just those tyres gone. With those tyres gone, this truck would honestly, I would use it actually quite a bit, because after trying this game, when you drive over stuff, it's pretty tough, to be honest. You do get, you know, every now and then when you clip a barrier, it can be a bit of a troll. Sometimes you get away with it pretty lightly. Some pretty big rocks I'm smacking, but then, yeah, sometimes when you hit the barriers, I'll show you in a sec, that it, yeah, gives it a good old smack. But yeah, even like, again, I'm in high, it's flying over here no problem, it's banging over most of the rocks. Even though it did take a bit of damage, it's nothing too crazy. There, that, when you clip a barrier like that, sometimes it can delete half your suspension health. I just wanted to try it here quickly, I'm not going to stay here for long, but this crossing in Black River, and I have to say, it actually did pretty damn well. I'm going to edit it here because I got stuck on a tree and it's not really its fault that the tree was sat there. They're a bit trollish, those trees. But you look at it, this is the fastest truck I've ever had through here, and I've done the ANK, I've done the Navistar, I've done not loads, but this truck was definitely, it got through here the best I've ever seen. It didn't really struggle. I'm going to edit it again in a sec because, again, I hit a tree and it's not really this thing's fault. You see that, I was in low, but then as soon as I put it in auto, it just goes back to like this speed, and it's, yeah, really not bad. So I'll probably leave it about there for now, but like I say, it is actually very good in like wet, sloppy mud, a lot better than the Dan. So I'm now at Northport, just going to try a couple of things. This is sort of the deep snow outside, which it does alright. Again, deep snow, it's pretty respectable, but you're going to see the main problem again. Just as I'm coming up here, I wanted to do the barrier test. Those bloody wheels reached the peak first, so all my wheels at the back. I just went and did this barrier test, but again, I even knew before doing it that'd be the problem. You hit those stupid bloody wheels. And to be fair, there's not a lot of grip for my rear wheels, but I can guarantee you, I'll show you in a sec, you're not pulling this thing like, even if you had grip. I was going to try it this way, I didn't realise the snow dipped down as much as it did, so I went and tried it somewhere else. Obviously it gets over the front, does clip it a bit, but yeah, as soon as I hit those tyres, it's having none of it. And as I show you, I even winched to a tree, and bear in mind I did put the twin motor heavy winch on, and that's it, I'm sat here, I can't, even the power of the winch won't lift me over it. What I tried in the end was just coming at it at an angle, and I did eventually get over. Then I hit a bloody tree stump, which is its fault though, because I had to go on a stupid angle trying to get over there. It did get over eventually with the winch and all that, but yeah, not recommended at all. Tried this snowy bit that's in the other game. The reason I'm adding some of the things that are in the other videos, because it's all well and good saying, oh, it can do this and it can do that, but it's like, what does that mean relative to everything else? Like, maybe everything can do that, so yeah, I want to include some things that you can actually compare them to each other, really. Through here, the cut through where you go to the fuel station, look at it. Probably, the best truck I reckon I've ever had drive through here. But the only reason it starts slowing down every now and then, which you can sort of tell when you see more of the rear wheels spinning quicker than I'm moving, that's when that stupid set of wheels is clipping something again. Like I say, they just, in the garage, it needs to be like remove wheels. So first water test comes through no problem. I cocked it up a bit there, I hit the side and had to go back out of high, but it wasn't this thing's fault. I get back into high, so it's definitely has no issues with water. And yeah, even I remembered to turn in time and I actually made this corner. but forgot to start turning before I was even around the corner, so that happened. I just wanted to try and squeeze it through this gap, see how it does. It's definitely was a bit tight, but I think it would get through with the trailer and everything. And again, that's where the, Dan caught its nose. Like I say, it's not bad. I'm only in auto at the minute, so it is just sitting obviously in first gear, but it's definitely... that was the first horn I think I've ever done that was an accident. I was supposed to go into interior view. As you can see, this is one where I wouldn't say the view is as nice as like the ANK or the Dan. The windscreen's a bit narrow really. You can definitely see a lot of dash. Not too much bonnet, but enough. So yeah, it's not like you can definitely drive with it and stuff. The back view is pretty damn good, and again, I think I stick my head out the window and it's like, yeah, fine. You can definitely see what you're doing behind you. So I won't do too much interior gameplay because, again, like the window's pretty shallow. I just wanted to see as well. I think I'll come out of it now because I wanted to see how it did up this hill because of that axle. And I think, to be honest, because there's already channels like dug in this, those single wheels are sitting in the channels, but the double wheels are like getting each side of the channel, so it didn't actually lose a whole lot of pushing power there. But yeah, I don't even know if that dolly axle has any I don't even know if dolly axle's a name. Feels like the right name. I don't even know if it has any suspension on it. I think it sort of does a bit, but I don't even know if it's as much as the other normal sets of tyres, meaning it doesn't even budge. Like when you hit it on a peak, it sits there. It doesn't like push its suspension right up and move out of the way. So even through this muddy bit, it's ticking along. It's not the fastest thing in auto anyway. So when you get it in high, though, I was definitely very impressed with that. She does motor along. So I'm on my way to here because obviously I wanted to try this river bridge. There, a little glitch there, but luckily it didn't lose anything. So I actually thought this axle would become the problem, but I got here and I actually hit the front bumper. And then when I go to reverse out, because of that axle, it's basically just sticking all the rear wheels up in the air and I can't get any grip to get out. So yeah, at this point I thought, stick a fork in her, she's done. But then
go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
okay, sorry, I got a little bit carried away there. But she did me very proud, so I thought it was worth it. By the way, if you're wondering why I call them all she, like I would my car, I've got to get inside that thing. Oh, just a rule of mine. Don't really want to be inside a man. Nothing against it if that's your thing, but yeah, that's why they're she. So anyway, I think that's enough of snow test. It even got in high gear. So I came for a quick mud test in here. To be honest, when I hit this bit, there's like a even extra boggier bit where you can just see water here. So once I actually winched it past that, it actually started to move through at this sort of speed, which for any of you that have actually been here, that's a bloody respectable speed. This thing's even the big fat Caterpillar 745 thing really doesn't like this section. Now, it's not rapid, and I'm sure that stupid axle isn't helping. Went for a mountain test. I won't waste your time with it really, because again, obviously this is what happens. So don't drive anywhere where you're just gonna have like bumps and peaks and dips, because as soon as your front wheel drops over, then that stupid axle is the next thing, and this happens. Obviously I was able to get a little bit further by winching, but yeah, there's no... I'm going to run out of trees before I get to the top. This is it when you go... I'm in White Valley now. This is when you go, like, obviously from the garage, just a shortcut. It's like a quicker way to the airport. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I've never gone the other way. I assume it's the quicker way to the airport. And then yeah, get it on shallow snow, it just flies along. Shallow snow's fine. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun drifting this thing over the next couple of days. Only while making this video that I realised it drifts like a maniac when you put it in high. Obviously it's gripping a bit there, it's got chain tyres on, that can soon solve that problem. We'll see how she does when I've got some highway tyres on her. So anyway, flying down the airfield appropriately, going for a speed test. It's pretty rapid, to be honest. It's one of the quicker moving vehicles. Getting into 8th, you're not even, like, it's not worth pressing L1, it'll get into top gear when it wants to. Most of them are like that. And of course, we're going to have to go for a swimming test, and it did actually hit. This one's going to hurt. It hit and stalled before I even launched. The good news is, though, a little tiny glitch there, but she did land on her tyres. But as you can see, the engine's pretty dead. But don't you worry about that, I've got this. Here comes the mechanic. So, what do you mean you don't trust me? What possible sign have I given you to indicate I am not a safe mechanic? So, I didn't stick the landing too well. You see, you never give up on these things. So I used the Derry to get the Royal flipped. Used the Royal, get the trailer. And then Robert's father's brother. Brand new, like she just came out of the factory. I noticed as well, when you spin around in the water, it goes all kind of psychedelic, like it ghosts the image a bit. So yeah, we'll start her up. As you can see, obviously the snorkel's like in the front left corner as we're looking now, at the roof. Generally speaking, it seems to be that wherever the snorkel is, that's how deep you can go. But obviously that doesn't necessarily mean that the truck in question can go that deep, or very well. I think this one, to be honest, did nice enough. It goes a bit under there because I'm leaning to the left a bit. But once I'm back out, it's definitely pulling itself out of the water, which is more than some do. Some really don't like the water at all. It doesn't look that fast, but it's not particularly fast in reverse anyway. So we're going to go back in there. Got to see how deep we can go. I was like, oh yeah, shit. Yeah, it's a right game. 3-0. So yeah, we get to about here, and to be honest, now it's at the point where it's like, depends which rock the wheel is sat on, but you can nearly get your whole roof in. Obviously, like the ANK has the snorkel at the back of the cab, which actually does let you go in a bit further, but you're not going to really need to go this deep in many places. That's what she said. And then lastly, I just wanted to drown it, and so the reason why I would like to see how quick it damages it, it tends to be the further the snorkel is from the surface, the more it damages it. The reason why is because, like, when I went to that island the other day in the ANK, I actually had to take engine damage to get there, but because I didn't take enough quickly enough, so it's just, yeah, I like to know how quick. That's right, fish. You get your own Derry Longhorn. And obviously I wasn't happy with just one dive. I think it's fair to say I stuck the landing. I also wanted to just say quickly, let you a little sneaky peek, so to speak, at my next video. I thought it was a nice little thumbnail, might end up using it. Now, I've got this down here. I like jumping trucks off cliffs, so I think you can probably see where this is going. But tomorrow's video, I'm very proud of this, is going to be Top Gear truck darts. Nailed it. So, basically, yeah, what I'd like to do as well, so you guys can kind of play along a bit, is I'll say do 6 trucks or something. I'll put them in the comments. I'll make sure you can see which ones before. And if you're playing with, I don't know, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your dog. I mean, if you're playing with your dog, it's probably best you pick 3 darts and just let it have the other one. Or the other 3. Well, I don't know. Like, your dog might be able to do it. My cat's a genius, to be honest. He's grown his own pair of trousers. He's got a jumper, matching socks. So I haven't had to buy him soddle. And when he's done, he just licks them off himself and grows a new set. I don't know any kids that can do that. To be fair, he does throw up the old set on the floor, but I'm pretty sure kitchen towels are cheaper than cat trousers, so that's a deal I'm willing to accept. So anyway, whoever you're playing with though, pick 3 darts each, and yeah, see if you win, lose, draw, make a drinking game out of it. Do whatever you like, but that's what we're going for. It's Top Gear truck darts, and I for one cannot wait to get thrown in that. I don't know why, I just love jumping off this cliff. I'm about to land in the back. Double nailed it. So obviously I'll make sure there's some trucks that might miss. So I'll make sure it's possible that you could win, draw and lose. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening tomorrow. So anyway, as far as this video goes, I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.